So, you have done it all. You've done television, stage, movie, voice acting. Is there any particular medium that you prefer?
Yeah, I like television present. Although, you know, I've done a lot of stage, which I think I sort of burnt myself out there over 20 odd years. Film artists, I love watching films. I adore them, but they're kind of slow.
It's a long process,
to
get.
And it's kind of worth it, but television I like because it's so fast, and you just have to respond to first instinct the whole time, and that's exciting for me. I love voice work too because that's so intense and pressurised, because I kind of like the height of the whole thing. So I was asked the other day by somebody if I would do another television series, and I thought, yes, I will. Which kind of is quite an important choice to make, you know, coming off a long run, but I do enjoy it.
So you've been to a fair number of conventions. Do you remember when you started attending conventions?
After Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King was launched, and that was such a huge phenomenon around the world. I started to attend, and then did quite a lot around the world, in Europe and Australia, New Zealand, America, but I really haven't had much time over the last 4 years, so I think we've been doing about one a year. I like to do
Lucky.
So I like to do them this year, in this break I'll get to do 2. So who knows in the future, but it's really just a matter of time availability at this time.
Do you have a favourite convention story? Anything that's been really interesting?
Did you just go to the panel when I had the baby?
No.
I met a baby last night who was so cute, and he was there, so he came up on stage with me and just stole the show, and as he left he took my microphone, pulled it off me.
Aww.
Very cute. And the sound girl had to come out and try and fix it while I was talking. It was a little pantomime. Oh, I don't know. No, I don't think so. You know, the days are so intense. Some cons I enjoy very much, and some not so much. I have to say that this one's been beautifully organised, and everyone here is, I'm only saying this because it's true, beautifully organised, and the fans and the people who work here are great, so it's been a gorgeous time.
Yeah, it's been really cool. This is actually my first Starfest.
Oh.
So I did some looking into your past, and what was it like being the artistic director of the stage company in South Australia?
It was a most unusual dream come true. We came at a time when there was a burgeoning of arts in Australia, which had been really, prior to that, just been locked into doing British and American. Really didn't have any of our own culture, and in my generation a whole series of men and women came through and said, no, we don't do this anymore, we're going to create our own work. And so spontaneously around the country these small companies were formed independently of each other, mainly concentrating on new works and using the local actors around the place. And one that I formed and ran for 10 years was one of those, the Adelaide version of that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It was very special, very lucky. Very lucky. It was all to do with timing. And
then, you know, you were head of the drama at Brent School of Fine Arts, and that.
Yes, I've done. I enjoy teaching very much. I will go back to teaching, not as head of a school, but what I enjoy most is working with professionals. And so when I get, say, back to Australia, I'll just send out a text and say, okay, I can play on these Tuesday nights or something or other, and the guys come in and we set up a studio and go through a process, and sometimes for a longer period than that. I really enjoyed that, and I've seen some terrific actors come through and go on and have wonderful success. So
that's right.
Yeah, that's incredibly rewarding.
The teacher must be so much fun. And then, of course, I had some questions from specific people. So, which Walter, referring to Fringe, of course, which Walter do you prefer playing? Yes. The Walter we all know, or Walter?
Well, the Walter we all know, the one that's sort of been around for a long time, is a wonderfully chaotic, sort of random character who has so many facets, so many sides to it, and in fact there are many versions of him as well. So, and he also has more fun because he's random. You know, he comes out with totally socially inappropriate things the whole time and gets away with it, and also has wonderful ideas. but I'm very fond of the other fellow because he took the responsibility. He became the leader, which is very hard to do. And I think as time went by, people stopped hating and started to realise that actually he does a really good job, and thank goodness you've got someone like him in that place when times are tough. So and what happens, and it comes up in an episode shortly, where the two men have really beautiful scenes together, and there was a coming together of the two men, like two sides of personality coming together. I think next week's episode, there will be a beautiful scene that I'm very proud of between the two men.
And then, have you any word yet if Fringe is coming back for another season?
I think it will. I mean, nothing's been announced, so everyone's guessing, and I'm talking everyone, even J.J. Abrams. I think all the indicators say to me that we'll get 13 more episodes, and that's more out of respect to the fans than anything else, because I think Fox are very aware that the fans are so adamant. You must not cut off our story, and they're listening, and they realise that they've got a responsibility to finish the story out, which is great because it gives our writers a chance to say, okay, 13, let's finish it. No more red herrings, no more trying to plan 4 seasons ahead. Let's take the story and bring it home. I think that's what will happen. It'll be announced later, end of next week, I think. I'd be surprised if it doesn't happen, but anything's possible.
And do you currently have a favourite TV show that's actually on air? Do you, I mean...
Well, I'd have to say, well, what do we watch at home? Because I'm usually working when television's on. Yeah. We work ridiculous hours. I know my wife loves The Good Wife. She adores that. And I do too, because I know those actors and I know that the scripts are they're wonderful actors and the scripts are terrific. And I've got a sort of standing off to go and work, do an episode or two because I admire them so much. But I don't really get a chance to watch much at all. That's serious.
And do you have a favourite director or anything that's really active right now that you'd love to work with?
Oh gosh.
I know.
No. I mean, my dream would be to work with Clint Eastwood. I think that would be, from an actor's point of view. I just hear the way that he treats. Well, I would be having it scraping to the great man. But the way that I've heard how he goes about his business and the way he directs actors sounds like exactly what I would love to do. He's also just extraordinary in every field, everything he touches. So, yeah, let's leave it to Clint Eastwood. I've never actually told anyone that before.
Oh.
I might actually send a text off to my manager and say, I've just confessed.
I've heard a couple of people say that you and Joss Whedon would be fun together if you were in something that Joss Whedon was in.
Yeah, I've met Joss, but it's never, I'm sure you're right.
Yes.
I'm sure you're right. He's extraordinarily imaginative man and gifted. Maybe it'll happen. I know that there's mutual respect there. So
yes, that would be fun.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, well, I think that's everything I've got.
So lovely to talk to you. Thanks for taking time to see me.
Oh, absolutely. Same.
Bye. Do you remember my name?
Yes.